The following is intended for mature audiences only. Discretion is advised.
Hello there, and welcome all you besties. This is Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes. I'm the second part of that statement, and this is the fourth installment, so brace yourself and hold on to your butts. Yeah, hold on to your butts. I don't even know. Oh my gosh. That's so stupid. What if I sang that whole song? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. I lost my GPS inside my car, and I need help trying to find it to get back to this podcast so I can listen as I end this call. My guest today's Jamal. Oh my goodness. Man, if you're still listening, that's why you're a bestie. Really. If you want to skip forward 15 more seconds, that's totally fine too, because there's no real need. I don't know. I just felt like doing something different this time. And sometimes that means singing a parody of I Miss You by Blink-182, you know? This is Childlike at Best. It's a podcast hosted by Mike Valdes on iTunes. I don't know, man. Oh my gosh. If you were at the Miami Improv last night, I was there, doing some comedy. Thank you so much for coming out. That was a real fun show. And I will be at the West Palm Beach Improv some point. I'm not 100% sure on the date, but some real cool stand-up gigs are happening this month and early next month. So keep your eyes peeled. whoismikevaldes.com, and also on my Instagram at Mike Valdes, or on my Twitter, I am Mike Valdes. Today, my guest is Jamal Kendrell Wright. He is an amazing actor, backflip extraordinaire. So without further ado, please enjoy Jamal Kendrell Wright. Hey everybody, this is Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes. Hey guys, guess what? I'm Mike Valdes. And today I have a really special guest, Jamal Wright.
Hi, I'm Jamal Wright. Jamal Kendrell Wright. You can also refer to me as Mike Valdes, but we'll both be confused on who you're talking to.
Don't refer to him as Mike Valdes. That would be weird.
I'll answer.
We were actually talking about this before we started rolling, but you don't remember the day that we met.
I don't.
I remember it very vividly.
I'm a terrible friend. That's how we start off this podcast.
No, it's totally fine. Because as usual in the music industry, when you play music, you think that you know your friends through music. We actually met in a different way. What happened was me and my buddy Josh, we went to a party that was at someone's house. Don't remember the kid's name. Never saw any of those people. In fact, I only remember you and the buddy that you came with.
Oh.
Who was this other dude who happens to be an R&B singer? Something like that.
Oh my God.
I can't remember his name. Anyway, we got along really well because we were talking about old school Nickelodeon shows, and your friend was flabbergasted with the amount of African-American sitcoms I knew about. He's like, God. How do you know about Living Single? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I love that show.
This is starting to make sense. I'm trying to remember who the guy is.
Yeah, and then I think the biggest thing that you might remember from that night was the night that I told you about Donald Glover.
Oh my God! Yes, I know where we were. We were at Andres Ortiz's house.
That sounds very familiar.
We were like outside at a bonfire in his backyard. Yep. Man, everything is starting. Oh my God! Yes, you mentioned Childish Gambino, and I didn't know who that was yet.
Yeah.
And then immediately I went and got the Camp album, and it changed my entire freaking life.
Right.
You changed my whole life that day.
How funny is that?
Oh my God.
To be honest, I didn't change your life. It was Donald Glover.
This is true.
But he changed my life too. So,
oh man.
But yeah, that's the day that we met. And I always knew, I was like, man, this kid is awesome, because we would talk. Actually, I actually remember the moment. The moment was when you were like, Yeah, I think my next tattoo is going to be Pepper Ann. I was like, oh, he's going to be my best friend.
Yeah. I actually got it, too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Where?
Where's Pepper Ann? I think she's on the back of my leg.
Okay.
Is it this leg?
No, I don't see anything.
It's on the back.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
By the way, Jamal has so many tattoos, he doesn't remember where any of them are.
They're all like 90s related.
Yeah, you have Rugrats and stuff, right?
I got Rugrats, Our Real Monsters, The Angry Beavers, Pepper Ann, Doug, Rocket Power, The Weekenders, Vince from Recess, Tiffany from Daria. I watch seasons 1 through 5 of Daria at least every other month.
Yeah.
I have to watch it before I go to bed. That's how I wind myself down.
Daria is really great.
Yeah.
So before we get anything else started, before I ask you the first question, even though we've already been talking a little bit, the first thing we like to do at Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes is we like to take a Flintstones vitamin.
Yes.
So I have these Flintstones Complete Gummies.
Ooh.
They are completely complete in that if you need fiber or if you have diarrhea or anything, I got you covered.
Okay, how many do I take? 1 or 2?
As many as you'd like.
Oh man, these are so nice. These are like the ones we used to take when we were younger.
Yeah,
those are actually like good.
They actually use those for chalk now, I believe. So
what is this? Who is this? This is oh man, what is this, Mike? Who is this?
I have no idea.
Is it upside down?
Maybe.
I can't really tell.
This is Dino.
Dino.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Or as my first guest, Manny Gomez, likes to call him Velma. So as you're taking that, can you please tell me about where you grew up?
Okay. My mom told me never to speak with my mouth full, but...
Yeah, please don't.
Okay. I was born in Hialeah Hospital. Mm-hmm. I basically grew up right outside Hialeah, which is in between, like, Little River... what else areas over there? There's like Martin Luther King, Brownsville, Opelika, Liberty City. Like in the center, it's like a unincorporated Dade is what they call it now.
Yeah.
I grew up I was really into like skateboarding and like pop punk stuff, which was I guess different for a lot of people.
Sure. Same here.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
When I was younger, people would just be like, because I went to mostly black and Hispanic schools for like elementary to middle school, and a lot of people were always like, what is this stuff that you're listening to? Like, I got it from my older sister because she was really into like Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff like that. So I would get into Red Hot Chili Peppers and also NSYNC. NSYNC's No Strings Attached album to this day, still slaps. Yeah, I was really into stuff like that, and I in middle school I ended up getting into acting. Started doing like drama stuff. Yeah, and then I heard Blink-182 for the first time, and then I just wanted to be an idiot for the rest of my life. Sure. So it's just that was really my thing. Then I got into like guitar and stuff like that. I'm jumping all over the place.
That's totally fine.
I was doing that, but I was also really into like skateboarding and gymnastics and just a whole bunch of back then things that were different for African Americans to do. One thing that I love now is it's more acceptable.
Of course.
I listen to a lot of young rappers and they all call themselves rock stars and they skate and stuff. So I really enjoy that.
I think the term punk rock has changed. I think punk rock is more of a mentality than it is an actual genre anymore. For sure. And I feel like a lot of hip hop artists are very punk rock.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rock and roll it's weird because I love rock and roll, but at the same time it's a dying art form.
I feel just because of with the evolution of all, I guess, industries, it's basically like downsizing. Yeah. We don't need, if you are the vocalist, rapper, whatever person, you play a show, you don't need a guitar, 2 guitars, bass, drums, keyboard, all these people to get paid. Now you just pay an engineer, one guy, to make the entire beat. Right. And then you make all the money. So I can understand why it's dying from a financial standpoint. But even then, like, these rappers usually have like 10 to 12 guys on stage anyway to make it look full. Because it looks weird, like just having one person up there jumping around.
It is really weird to just see one guy and a DJ, and just emphasizing the third to fourth word. You know, what kind of kids did you sit with at the lunch table?
Oh man, okay, so up until middle school, I was kind of, I spoke to people, but we didn't really like hang out. Up until middle school, I hung out with my cousin Elbert on weekends. So he would come down from Fort Lauderdale, and we would beg my dad to take us to Blockbuster. I don't know if you guys remember that place, but we went to Blockbuster.
Blockbuster is ingrained in my memory. It's crazy, man.
Blockbuster was literally life. Like it.
Yeah.
You went there every weekend for a game or a movie or something, and it like. You couldn't complete your weekend without Blockbuster. Like, you really couldn't.
I really don't like that we don't have video stores anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand why we don't have them, and I'm glad that streaming platforms have gotten huge, and now we can have a show everywhere. So, like, it's good as an actor, it's good, but at the same time, it's like weird because you're like, hey, I'm on a new show. Oh, cool. Where can I see it? Oh, ups.com. Like, like UPS has a streaming network now.
That's true. Well, now that we're on this topic, I'm going to self-plug myself.
Yeah.
I have a film on Amazon Prime called Sick-Minded.
Yep.
I just filmed for a tween series. It's kind of like Twilight, but for a younger audience.
That's called Riverdale, I believe.
Yes, I wish. I'd probably get paid way more if I was on Riverdale. But it's called Boca Witches.
Okay.
It's going to also be on. It's going to be on Amazon Prime as well. I filmed my first scene for the first episode I'm in yesterday.
Yeah.
That was. It was interesting. I worked with LeVar Leo, who also directed Sick-Minded. Amazing director, amazing guy. He called me and he's like, hey, would you like to be in this show? And like before he even said anything, I'm like, sure, whatever you need me to do. Like, I'll jump off a building and shoot myself in the face, whatever you need.
Right.
So, that's my shameless 2 Amazon plugs.
No, that's not a huge deal. To jump into that for a second, because we're already talking about your acting career a little bit, there was a short film that you did. Mm-hmm. I want to say it was a short film, and in it, you had one of these like it was such a funny line, and then I ended up telling you like over Messenger, and you said, oh, I improvised that, and I was like, dude, that's like some of the best stuff is when you get to improvise.
Oh yeah.
And it was this it was when we first see your character, you're eating ice cream. Yes. and you find out that the character has to like get rid of a dead body with these 2 girls.
Yeah.
And he says to these girls, the last thing I ate was mint chocolate chip ice cream. That's not the last meal I want to eat.
Before going to jail forever. Yeah. It's a 3-episode thing so far. They want to make it longer. It's 2 blondes in Miami.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now. I basically did an acting class, or I have been doing an acting class with those 2 girls at Miami Acting Studio. And usually when I get on stage or whatever, the coach would just tell me to improv. So I would just improv stuff all the time.
You're a really good improviser.
I try. I
mean,
get it from my mom.
I'm telling you, if my favorite stuff that you did in that show was improvised, then you must be good at it.
It literally comes from my whole family. My mom, my dad, my sister. Everyone is just amazing. DeAndre Pendergrass, who's like basically like my little brother, also like are the funniest human beings I've ever met. And so I would just improvise stuff on the fly on stage. And they're like, yeah, we're shooting this show, 2 Blondes in Miami. I'm like, cool. So there was a script, and then they were just like, do whatever. Ironically, the 3 projects in a row basically was that, because I did another series called Love Siempre Es, which is in film festivals right now.
Yeah.
Another self-plug. Same thing. The director met me at a Buffalo Wild Wings. That's where we did our interview, at a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, I thought you guys were just chilling at Buffalo Wild Wings. He's like, hey, man, You look like a star.
You look like a star. Come here.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you. No, and he was like, yeah, I've heard that you're just the improv guy. So here's the script. Just say whatever. And same thing. There's another series I did called Wake Up. And same thing. We met at some coffee spot, and they're like, here's the script, but just do whatever. So I love doing that because I love improv, but I'm not going to lie. It is the scariest thing because, like, people are knowing me as, like, the funny guy.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is what happens when I'm not funny?
Dude, all comedy is very hit or miss. So what kind of fandoms were you into? I mean, we've already talked about your tattoos, but what fandoms were you into growing up?
Oh, man. Okay. So I was really big into WCW, WWF. So I would basically collect all the wrestlers that I can get. But I would use them and put them back in the boxes.
Yeah.
So like
the action figures.
The action figures.
Yeah.
And
because Topps had a card line as well, right?
Did a card line?
Yeah, like those like trading cards.
Oh yeah. They did. I was never really into the cards.
Yeah.
But I was really into the action figures. And,
I was into the gum.
The gum?
The gum that was inside.
Oh my god!
Because you know how every card, like cards, would come with a stick of gum. Mm-hmm. I was really into that gum. I don't know why.
You'd buy the cards just for the gum.
Yeah.
As opposed to just getting the gum.
Yeah, and I would just like throw away like Barry Bonds. Like
God.
all these different things.
F this.
Yeah. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, I was really into that, and I would play with wrestlers for as long as I can.
Yeah.
I really got into Power Rangers so much that that's actually how I got into karate and gymnastics. Fun
Isn't that
fact,
how every guy gets?
Yeah,
into
100%.
Yeah.
If you are not getting, it's either Power Rangers or Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Or the Karate Kid.
Or the Karate Kid. If you're like, yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme, you're a liar.
Yeah.
You're a liar. Yeah, I got really into like karate and gymnastics, and funny story. So I got into karate, I think like 7. I did my first match, and I got kicked in the stomach, and I was 7, so I cried.
Of course.
So I run to the bathroom, and like my dad comes in there, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." And he's like, "There better be sweat coming out of your eyes." I'm like, like I'm crying with him, and then I'm like, "I want to quit," and he's like, "No," and he didn't let me quit for 3 years, and I appreciate that so much because now I have this like, everything's gonna get tough. You just gotta push through it mentality.
Yeah.
My dad was also like a coach, so. That really like pushed me to be, I guess, a better person or whatever you call me right now.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, my dad was he pushes me for everything. One thing I admire, I actually have both of my parents tattooed on the insides of my arms, and one thing I admire about my dad is my dad didn't really understand what me and my sister were really into, but he like supported it. So
Sure.
if it was like. When I was younger, I would like bands like Alkaline Trio and stuff.
Right.
And people were like, "Oh, that's like satanic music," and I'm like, "No, it's not." And they're like, "That's that music," and I'm like, "No, it's not." Ironically, I got into that stuff when I got older. But yeah, my dad's friends would be like, what is this stuff that your kids are into? And he's like, well, that's what they like. That stuff's cool. He would ask us like, what do you guys? What is this? But when anyone ever like kind of combated him on it, he would always defend it, even though he didn't really understand it. Like,
okay,
it was like, why is Jamal into skateboarding? Well, that's what he's like. He's really good at it. That's what he wants to do. My dad built me a mini ramp in my backyard. Him and his best friend. And that's one thing I think is great because he didn't know what this was. It wasn't, we didn't have YouTube and stuff back then. So I would go to, oh my God, what was that store where you could buy all like the Birdhouse and Element stuff?
PacSun?
It was another one, but PacSun was one. We'll just stick with PacSun because I can't remember the other one. But, spend $30 on an Element shirt. My dad, I guess, There
was another one, the Ron John Surf Shop?
That's the one I was thinking about. Ron John's.
Yeah.
Okay. So, he would always take me to stuff, and, I love my daddy. He's awesome.
Dude, I mean, from what you're saying, that's very admirable.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool.
He's such a tough guy, too. Like, everything is, like, he talks with this really deep voice.
Yeah.
But, it's like, I would be, I want this Kid Rock CD. And he was like, what's Kid Rock? And I was like, oh, you know, that ball with the ball. He's like, I don't know what this is, but
and you're like, neither do I.
I don't know what he's saying. I listen to 94.9 Zeta all the time. He didn't know any of the songs. He just knew as soon as I got in the car, put it on. He would drive me to like skate parks that were like an hour away, because when we were young, you didn't have all these free parks. You know? So my dad would drive me an hour every Sunday to skateboard until I'm tired. And he would sit there and watch me skateboard. And I'm not gonna lie, he'd probably be getting drunk, like watching me skateboard. But he didn't drink and drive, before anyone assumes. Yeah. But yeah, you know, he would watch me do all these things, and he supported me. He still supports me on everything. He's like, oh, you're making a movie? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make a movie. Oh, when does the movie come out? I want to see the movie. Yeah. Is it a funny movie? Or is it a sad movie?
Why does your dad sound like an Eddie Murphy character?
Everybody says that. Everyone's like, why does your dad sound like a...
He sounds like a Clumps.
Bro, you're like the 4th or 5th person to tell me that, like, this week. Like, you super like, what's this movie? And then, you know, my mom would always be like, oh, the movie's about this. And he's like, oh, okay, what character is he? I want to see it.
That's real funny. Oh my gosh.
Both my parents are awesome. Like,
yeah. You know, speaking of which, because I grew up in a little bit of a different household. I grew up in like a very like
super Christian.
Yes, conservative. I wasn't allowed very much. So you know, like there were certain, I mean, every kid had like certain movies they weren't allowed to watch, or you know, whatever. So I'm just interested.
Yours is Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, James Carrey.
Carrey, yeah.
It was an actor. It wasn't just a movie.
It was the whole James Carrey.
Yeah, the whole James Carrey thing. In fact, I remember my dad getting very upset with my aunt at one point because I asked her to take me to the Truman Show. And I also I thought it was a straight up like Jim Carrey comedy, but it was PG. So I was like, oh, I could see this, you know. And we went, and it's like I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, listener, but it is so dramatic. But it is so dramatic, and yeah, it was. I mean, it was good. I liked it, but it was very dramatic. My dad was very like, you took him to see a James Carrey movie. She was like, it's not that big of a deal.
Get James Carrey on the phone right now. James?
Like, no one calls him that but my dad. But anyway, was there anything that you weren't allowed to watch, like TV shows or anything?
Oh, yeah. But my sister really didn't give a crap. So,
yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm going to go with music and with film. So, music, I ended up begging my mom to get me Limp Bizkit's. What was the one before Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water? It was.
No idea.
Oh my God, what was that album? Man, I'm gonna remember it after this podcast. But
it was probably it's just one of those days.
Yes,
probably.
It was the album with Nookie and Break Stuff. Okay. So she ended up getting it for me, and Break Stuff came on, and I used to play it on the CD boombox. And yeah, as soon as all the cursing started, she just came and ripped that thing out of the box and was like, we're taking this back right now. So she took it right back to the store. When they came out with their second album, or third album, which is Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water, she got me the edited one. Yeah. And there's a song where he says, can we curse on this? Or?
Yeah, okay. You can do whatever you want.
There's a song where he says, like, fuck 47 times, 97 times, I believe. So my version is...
He actually says the word 97 times.
Yes, he says the word. But he actually says that he says it 97 times in the song. So he could probably just be saying that number. But I'm listening to the edited version. So my version was like, there's a up world in a place. Everybody by the... So that's... So that sucked. With TV... my sister really got into South Park when she was in college. Yeah. So my mom was like, no, he cannot watch this. Yeah. My sister was like, here's the channel. Watch it, you know? Yeah. So I would watch it in the living room with basically my ear to the ground, trying to hear her door open. Yeah. So I'm trying to pay attention to South Park with one ear and one eye. Like, I'm looking cross-eyed as heck right now. Yeah. Oh, we can curse. Yeah, cross-eyed as hell right now. Yeah. So I'm like... And whenever she would come in, I'd switch it to like a Cartoon Network or something really quick and pretend that I'm sleeping. And she's like, "You're not watching that South Park." But because she would yell down the hallway. She's not going to get up, but you feel like she is.
Sure.
You better not be watching that South Park. And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, and as a kid, a voice was scary enough.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's the Paul F. Tompkins joke where he's like, the reason why I went to college was because I was afraid of getting yelled at. Yeah. Like, that's the reason why I do a lot of things. Just because I'm scared of getting yelled at.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, my dad yells. He still yells at me. But my dad's, like, 70 now. Mm-hmm. And I'm still, like, terrified that this guy could, like kill me.
Of course.
I'm like, he's 70, but I don't really want to tempt it. Because once he's in beating mode, there's nothing I can do. He's probably just going to beat me to death. But,
while listening to break stuff.
He's like, oh, this is the music you like, huh?
Oh, wow, it's one of those days.
You don't want to wake up, huh? Everything sucks. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why.
Speaking of which, I remember at one point, I've already told the story of how I used to get records with parental advisories and I'd cut the thing off. But one of the things that I remember doing was at one point, Walmart would do edited CDs. Yeah. So I would get my CDs from Walmart that I knew had like cursing in them and stuff. And I remember getting System of a Down, and it was the album with Everybody's Going to the Party. Yeah, that's
have a good time.
And there's a song called Cigarro on there. And in the song, he goes, "My cock is much bigger than yours." And like a whole bunch of like little kids start going, "My cock has stretched right through the door." But the edited version is, "Mike is much bigger than yours. Mike is, And I was like, this is the weirdest song. Why is it saying Mike is much bigger than yours? I was at an age where I didn't even know what that stuff was. Like I talk about it in my stand-up. Like, I embellish the age a little bit, but I didn't find out what a lot of things were until I was a lot older.
Dude, everyone listening, I definitely think you should see Mike Valdes do stand-up. I've seen Mike do stand-up, and it is hilarious. And I am very old at heart, so I go to bed at 8:30. So I stay up till 10 to go see Mike live.
That's so funny. And not only that, dude, another old thing about you is that you wake up really early.
Yeah, I start my day around like 4:30.
Yeah. It's kind of insane. Like I was wondering, because we're actually recording this in the morning, and I was wondering why, because usually almost everyone I interview is an artist of some sort, and something I know about people that are in the entertainment business is that they like to sleep in.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the worm doesn't come out for these birds until like 10 p.m. So what kind of TV shows and like movies were you into growing up and all that stuff as well?
Man, me and my dad would burn out Lady and the Tramp. Yeah, We would burn this thing out, like to the point where as soon as it was over, we just rewind it. Basically everything Disney, Lion King, Aladdin. Till this day, I'm sorry, that GIF is just hilarious to me. If you put on what is the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack, I'm losing my freaking mind. Like, that is like my jam.
Do you like it because you like it, or are you like those Hot Topic people about it?
No, to me, Kidnap the Santa Claus it's a great song. Like, I just think, I'd like to create different genres of songs. So I'll hear the song and I'll try to pretend like I'm playing like a metal guitar for it. It sounds great. I try rapping it. It sounds great. To me, Kidnap the Santa Claus is just a great song.
It's Danny Elfman, right?
Yeah, Danny Elfman is like...
He's real good.
It's the equivalent of a Drake for score. Like, he's literally... Yeah.
He's Drake for emo people.
Yeah, he's literally in every musical film somewhere. Danny Elfman did at least something in it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know this, but fun fact for the listener, if they didn't know this, he's Jack Skellington's singing voice.
Did you know that they actually did a tour and it came down here as he was conducting the orchestra, but I ended up getting
That's
tickets.
crazy. I wish I had known about that.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorites.
Dude, I was so mad.
Him and Hans Zimmer, like, nobody can stretch a piano wire and make it sound like the Joker like him. You know.
But yeah, with movies, to be honest with you, anything comedic, and even to this day, I watch mostly comedy. Like, I'll watch drama just because someone may be like, hey, this is a really good drama, or, you know, but if it's a comedy, I'm going to watch it just because it's a comedy. Like,
majority of the time that I watch drama, it's because I want to watch people act.
Yeah,
you know,
that makes sense.
It's kind of like I like to equate it to if you've ever seen the trailer for Fences.
Oh, yeah.
You see that trailer and you're just like, man, that's acting.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
The first 5 minutes of that movie is Denzel doing a monologue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah.
5 minutes of him talking, no one else, just him. And I'm like, that alone is ridiculous.
I mean, I think Denzel's great, but, I mean, Viola Davis is out of this world in that movie. She snot cried her way to the Oscars with that. Like, it's unbelievable. She's great. Everyone in that movie is so good.
One thing that I also really enjoyed about it is it's just focused on the acting because it was a play before.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's only maybe 3 scenes. Like, I mean, like three stage settings.
Pieces?
Yeah. There's inside the house, in front of the house, and I think like on a road. That's really it. Like, that's the whole movie. It's not like, oh, you have all these other things to help. No, it's just them. It's just them doing great work.
And isn't it throughout the course of like one day?
I believe so. Yeah, I think
it's a very basic premise in like set piece. But it runs deep in like character themes and things like that.
As my father would say, that's a movie.
That's a movie.
That's a movie.
That's real great.
It's like I'm imitating my dad. I'm pretty sure he's gonna listen to this and be like, I don't sound like that at all.
I don't sound like that. I don't sound like that.
I don't sound like that. Trish. That's what he calls my mom. Trish, do I sound like that?
Yeah. It's Betty. I've been telling you for 40 years. Do you know who you married?
Yeah. That's exactly what it's like.
Name some movies you were into.
Okay. Dumb and Dumber for sure.
Yeah.
I like Coming to America. That's
great
still
movie.
to this day is my sister's favorite movie.
Yeah.
So I would always watch that. I watched horror. I got into Child's Play.
Yeah.
But because a neighbor down the street watched it, I watched it with my neighbor. Then I was scared to use the bathroom because I thought Chucky was going to come out of the bathroom. My sister took that upon herself to scare me any chance she got. So I would go into the bathroom. She'd bang on the door. She created this. It's very elaborate. The kitchen, the cabinet doors. If you open those, there's like a straight through shot to the bathroom cabinet doors.
Right.
There's like a hole there and they connect. So there's like a rubber band in the bathroom doors to hold them closed. My sister would stick a broom all the way through and hit the cabinet door. So it'd be like, do, 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 do. So like my sister basically ruined my whole idea of horror movies until I was like 16.
I don't know what it is about like whenever I hear people about like when they were scared of things, it always has to do with them being in a bathroom. I don't know what it is. Like,
because you can't get out.
Like I was hearing Chris D'Elia talk about like how he was scared as a kid that Freddy Krueger would get him in the bathroom, and I'm thinking, why would he get you in the bathroom? You have to be asleep in order for him to get you at all. And then you're scared of Chucky. Like, what is it with our fascination that killers are gonna be in the bathroom?
Well, with the Freddy Krueger one, I understand because there is a scene in the first film, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, where the girl's, I think, washing her face, and then he comes out of the back of her head.
Oh, okay.
And from that point, yeah, every time I watch a horror movie and I wash my face, I'm always trying to keep my eyes open. So the soap is like burning my eyes, but I refuse to die.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's kind of that. It's funny that you say that because like sometimes if I really think about it, especially now, whenever I'm like washing my hair in the shower, and I keep my eyes closed for too long, I start getting scared that there's a shark inside of the shower with me, which is really stupid. But it's
I know a lot of people like that as well.
Like I think there's a shark that's in there. But yeah, there's like this fascination with being scared in a bathroom. I actually remember it reminds me of Look Who's Talking 2. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
I used to love Look Who's Talking as a kid, as a real little kid, because the kid's name was Mikey. And so I was like, oh, that's like me. And so I saw Look Who's Talking 2, and the opening scene is him being scared of using the potty, as they say in the movie. And he goes into the bathroom, and the toilet is like this huge monster, like it's like a puppet, and it's voiced by Mel Brooks, and he's like, Mikey, give me your pee-pee, Mikey. And so I would always be scared to use the toilet because I thought it wanted to eat my pee-pee.
Have you ever like watched a show because someone in it had your name?
Sometimes. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, since this is like a 90s thing. Do you remember Bear and Jamal?
Of course I do.
So, like, I remember hearing about it. I was like, oh, my God, his name's Jamal.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, someone has my name.
Would you consider yourself Disney or a Nickelodeon or a Cartoon Network kid?
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to go with Nickelodeon first, then Cartoon Network, then Disney. That's really how I went.
I've had this conversation with other people before, revisiting a lot of the Disney Channel afternoon like cartoons, other than Darkwing Duck and a couple of other ones. A lot of people, their memories of it are very like, oh, that was a good show, but it's really not that good. And what I thought, or what I realized, was that the theme song is what was really good.
Oh, 100%.
And that's the reason why we remember it being good, is because like you remember Bandale, Rescue Ranch, Bandale.
Oh man!
Or you remember Dangers Out to Find You. Like you remember, remember all that stuff because Boyz II Men sang the theme song.
Dude,
like
Tailspin was my theme song. That breakdown.
So good. But yeah, that show, those shows are like, it's really the theme song that are like incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think especially while we were growing up, like I thought Nick was amazing for Saturday programming with like all that, Kenan and Kel, and every now and again they'd have like
Schnick.
Schnick. And all the game shows that you could go on to win a trip to Universal Studios Orlando, where they shot the show.
You can win a trip to go outside.
And second prize is a VHS player with Balto 2 stuck in it because we can't get it out.
And, we were like so excited, like, oh my God, Balto 2!
Like, all they had to do was even show you a picture of a Huffy, and you'd be like, I'm going to go up the biggest nose of all time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To get a flag, filled with boogers.
Oh.
But what were the Nickelodeon shows that you were into? Because I would actually pride myself in being more of a Nick kid as well.
Yeah, for me, Doug, Rocko's Modern Life, Ariel Monsters, Angry Beavers.
Doug was probably my favorite.
To be honest with you, I believe Doug is the reason I got into acting, because Doug created all these characters. And like I said before, my first couple, when I was in elementary school through middle school, I didn't really hang out with most people outside of school besides my cousin. So I would only see him on weekends. So I would create these characters like Smash Adams and all these other like Doug characters. Go around my house being either Quail Man, my own version of it.
Patty Mayonnaise.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
That was actually amazing. Did you know?
I kind of have a weird talent.
Fun fact with Doug, when they created the intro, they didn't really have a lot of money, so all of that is the creator's mouth. He made all those noises with his mouth. But yeah, I would create all these characters and interact with them by myself because I was insane, and now I'm a serial killer who's going to kill Mike. That's the prequel of my movie after I murdered Mike. We have a whole series. Where are you, Universal Pictures? Yeah. But yeah, Doug for sure.
Hey, Doug.
Rocko to me is, to this day, I actually still watch Doug, Rocko, Our Monsters.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
Like, probably, I watch one of those at least every day.
Yeah.
'Cause now that, and even with Cartoon Network, they have the Boomerang channel, so you can record all of those shows. I record all the Nick shows and watch those.
I'm actually subscribed to their streaming service.
Nice.
Because I love watching like the Flintstones and the Jetsons and stuff. So, because they have all the old Hanna-Barbera stuff on there.
Fun fact, Rocket Power basically created my entire look.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw Otto Rocket's hair, and I needed it. I had the shades. I basically tried to dress exactly like him. I got into skateboarding, rollerblading, BMX, surfing, snowboarding.
Hating shoebies.
Hated shoebies. I still do freaking shoebies.
Yeah.
I still, well, I've gotten older, but I still can do all those things: skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing, all those things. My dad, like I said before, would just be like, "All right, this is what you want to do." I would go snowboarding with basically his best friends because my dad is not going to like Colorado. He's not. Yeah. My dad doesn't even want to go down the street. So he's like, take my son. Like, here's some money for him to eat. If he dies, he dies. So yeah. I'll make a new one.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, now that I really think about it, Rocket Power was one of the reasons why I got into skateboarding as well. And because I wanted to be like Otto Rocket, but I ended up just being that fat kid that records everyone.
Sam.
It's like where I'm not really good at skateboarding other than like I can just stay on one like without falling. That's pretty much all I was good at. And they're like, oh, he'll do the stupid thing no one's gonna do, like jumping off the roof into the pool, because it's funny. So that was me. I was more filming everyone doing other things. What about live action? Did you watch live action, Nick?
Yes. All that probably is the reason I love sketch so much.
Yeah. What's your favorite sketch?
Oh man, I'm gonna sound so. I really enjoyed the Good Burger.
Of course.
I know everyone's like, oh, that's everybody's favorite sketch. But
it is. They're bringing back all that.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're bringing back that sketch.
Yep, it's coming back this month.
That and the library teacher that's always loud.
Yes, like that was played by Lori Beth Denberg.
Yeah.
For me, the Good Burger sketch, I feel like I liked it so much. One, because of the hair. I still have that same hairstyle. And as much as because people tell me it all the time, as much as I don't want to admit it, I do talk like that.
Yeah.
Like, I talk like Kel imitating like a white surfer dude. And I'm like, oh, this is me. This is me if I worked at a burger shack.
Dude, I was just thinking about this morning. Good Burger is such a good movie.
Yes! Man.
It's so good. Wow, a clock!
Man, like, as much as Keenan and Kel, I guess they're over working together.
Not anymore.
Oh, yeah, they fixed it?
Yeah.
Awesome, because
that's the reason why all that's coming back.
Man,
they're executive producing it together.
Oh, man, that is so great to hear.
Oh, I know.
Keenan is... Kel is hilarious as well. Keenan, obviously, because he's been doing SNL, and...
I don't want to put stories into the ether, but I believe... the reason why there was a little bit of like not really a falling out or like a hatred, but just like, I'm doing different things, was because they auditioned for SNL together.
I heard about that.
And they just wanted Keenan, Kel is great, man. I think Kel is so freaking funny. In fact, what a lot of people may not know is Kel Mitchell is an incredible stand-up comedian.
Really?
He's really freaking funny. So much energy and all this stuff, and he granted, the first 3 to 5 minutes is a lot of who loves orange soda and things like that, and he actually uses that as an opener for one of his bits where he's like, you know what Kel loves? And everyone's like, orange soda. And he's like, nope, I love vodka. And then he talked about how he does this 5-minute bit about how he used to have a drinking problem.
I remember he was touring because I was in North Carolina in Jacksonville, and I saw a poster for one of his tours coming to North Carolina. And I was like, man, that is insane. I wasn't there. But he's
really freaking funny. Did you watch any of those game shows as well?
Yeah.
Legends
oh my God.
Temple?
Legends of the Hidden Temple. I was obsessed with. Oh my God.
Guts.
Global Guts.
Mm-hmm.
And
coming at you.
Wild and Crazy Kids. Do you remember that?
He's Wild and Crazy
Kids.
Oh
my God. All those shows would upset me because I was really into gymnastics and karate, so I was like, I can beat all these kids. Somebody put me on this show. Like, I would watch this, on Wild and Crazy Kids when they would use the ball to knock over the big bowling pin.
Yep.
And they would miss. I'm like, the ball is like 40 feet. How are you missing this? Somebody call my agent. I had no agent. My agent was my mom. Somebody call my mom. Put me on this freaking show, man.
Yeah, but apparently all you had to do was be at Universal Studios Orlando.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently that's where they shot everything, and yeah, that's why majority of the time the grand prize was a trip to Universal Studios.
Because you just go outside. Go outside.
It's just funny to think about it now, where like, let's say you won Family Double Dare, and they're like, the grand prize is you get 2 days at Universal Studios, and the kid is like super happy about it, and the dad is just like so like traumatized because he's like, well, now I have to call into work, and like I only had 2 sick days, like now I'm gonna get fired, like because I'm not showing up to work.
One thing that like, because when I would watch Legends of the Hidden Temple, I would be like, man, I want to do it, but I'm one of those like swing scary people. So if you sneak up behind me, I like punch or like. So I went to Halloween Horror Nights for the first time last year.
Okay.
Because
tell me about that.
I'm so terrified that I'm going to punch someone. Not like I'm not an aggressive person or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm a very scary person. So if you sneak up on me, my first thing is like to scream and like swing. So I went to Halloween Horror Nights, and I basically have to like hold my hands down and like squeeze them and be like, oh my God, because you pay all this money, and if you hit somebody, they kick you out.
Exactly.
So I'm like, my God, like don't hit anybody. So that for me, it's not even the scares that scare me. It's me hitting someone and being like banished for life. So I would watch Legends of the Hidden Temple, and I'm like, yeah, I can get through all of this, but right when you're at the last part to connect the monkey and the guy comes out of nowhere, man, I would have hit that guy, and then they'd have been like, see, like, these crazy kids,
I would, it's funny because sometimes the first game that they would do was this obstacle where they would be on a rope and they would swing. Like they would do like this Indiana Jones kind of swing. Sometimes kids wouldn't make it, and they would fall into what I would assume was a mattress or something, but it was filled with fog, so you never saw the kid.
Yeah,
so for me, I just thought they died.
Yeah, for sure. Your parents signed away your life. Your life was my entertainment.
So I was like, I don't want to be on this show because what if I can't swing across the thing and I'll just freaking die?
Another fun fact about we're gonna do this whole thing because both of us are really good at these fun facts. With Legends of the Hidden Temple, there was no reasoning for these guys to actually come out. They just came out whenever to make the show interesting. Yeah. So if they didn't want you to win, you were just not gonna win. It wasn't that you did something wrong, or it's just everyone in the show is a dick.
That's so true. That's so true.
It's like he's getting too close to winning. Grab him.
freaking Olmec and the talking boulder. I remember when The Rock was a talking boulder. Now The Rock's an actor.
It's true.
Yeah, that's how your dad reviews Rock movies.
Oh my God, that's like The Rock movie where him and Kevin Hart. I'm like, his career.
Yeah,
his whole career. So we're talking about just his entire career.
Yeah.
The one with him and Kevin Hart are funny? Oh, the whole thing. So when he started until when he dies.
All of his movies?
Got it.
Cool.
His IMDb.
Because I know it's not the Scorpion King.
Definitely not. None of that.
I'm going to go into our next segment since we're already kind of talking about this kind of stuff.
Cool.
What was your favorite cereal growing up?
Oh, man. Okay. My thing was to eat Captain Crunch directly out of the box.
Yeah.
No cereal. Dry. Just how I like my humor.
How did you not cut your mouth open?
I did, but like I just...
I just didn't care.
I ain't no bitch.
This is great.
So I'm eating Captain Crunch out of the box, watching Eureka's Castle.
Watching out of the box.
Watching out of the box. Where I assume that's my real father, because me and that guy. Like,
you know what? That is pretty true.
That's my real dad. That's who my mom really procreated with.
Yeah.
My father at home is just some guy.
He's the guy from Gullah Gullah Island.
Yeah, there you go.
You're a Beania Beania kid.
It's possible. I'm a pollywog that's out of the box. So my thing was Captain Crunch and Eureka's Castle, or Fruity Pebbles and Doug. I had like a cereal
for the show,
for the occasion.
Dude,
so,
that's so good. I love this.
Then I think it was Fruity Pebbles. I'm sorry, Fruit Loops with Wild and Crazy Kids. I think that was the mashup for that.
Yeah.
I look back at my childhood and I'm like, I don't know why my parents deal with me. Like the things that I wanted made no sense. Like if we didn't have the cereal to fit the show, I would just be upset. My mom would be like, well, you're just going to be upset. And my dad, who's like a hard ass, like when he speaks, but really just wants to give me everything, is just because he calls my mom Trish. Trish, just go get him the cereal. That's what he wanted. I'm not gonna get him the cereal. He's gonna eat this cereal. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna eat or watch anything, you know. My mom would. Oh, my mom to this day gets excited when she talks about how I would act up and she would have to like handle my business. Like she loved it. She's probably gonna listen to this and be like, oh, when he would act up. She'd tear me up, guys. Made me the man I am today.
Well, with this next bit, what I like to do is I like to review a cereal with my guests. And usually I like to get cereals that I feel pertain to my guests in some way, shape, or form.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
What I did was you should be excited because I got the perfect one for you.
Okay.
I talked to my friends over at, my sponsors. They're not my friends yet, but my sponsors over at Funko. Okay. Now, by sponsor, I mean I like them and I buy all their products. And by talk to, I mean I tweeted them repeatedly and they didn't answer me. So what I got for you, Jamal Wright, is Funko brand. Ooh. Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh my God! What
cereal?
What? Oh my God, dude!
Yeah, it is the tasty treat that's fun to eat. They're purple.
This is insane. Is this a real thing? Can people buy this?
This is a real thing that people can buy. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
For all the ASMR people, I'm gonna go ahead and pour the cereal into my Reptar cereal bowl, and I'll make sure that you guys can hear that, so you can make it your ringtone or whatever you weirdos do.
I thought you were going to say I'm going to pour it into his mouth. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a way different podcast. It's so purple right now. Shout out to Elena Lane. This is so purple.
Okay. So, there you go.
Oh my God. Okay.
Now, you've listened to the show, so you kind of know the bit a little bit.
Yeah.
By the way, this is yours. So,
oh my God, I get to take it home?
Yeah, you get to take this home. This is
Cheat
yours.
Day Friday. It's going down.
There you go.
Okay.
We're going to review this cereal together. Now, it would be fun to just review this cereal.
Yes. My mouth is watering.
Yeah, we can talk about the different flavors and all these different things. But what would be more fun is to review this as a character from Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh God, I'm gonna mess this up.
So what I would like for you to do, as I play some theme music, is pick a character. I think the best character, just out of hearing the timbre of your voice, that you'd be really good at.
I like that timbre.
Is the Frog Neighbors.
Oh, Mr. Big Head?
Yeah, Mr. Big Head.
Okay.
And whenever you are ready.
Okay, first, we're in the Rocko bowl. I'm sorry, a Reptar bowl. It is purple. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus, this is good. Oh, I gotta keep the voice. Wow, this is amazing. What does this taste like? It's like, oh my, it tastes like everything I love. It's like Fruity Pebbles with Fruit Loops and some, just like a little Captain Crunch.
Does it taste like Captain Crunch there?
It's Captain Crunch, Bev. Captain Crunch.
Does it taste like what? What does it taste like?
This is literally one of the best cereals I've ever had. Oh my god, Mike, you just made my day.
All right, Mr. Bighead, ladies and gentlemen, from Rocko's Modern Life.
Class B, shut up.
Dude, this is, oh man.
Now that we're talking like cereal and like foods and things like that, well, do you remember how freaking wacky and weird all the commercials were in the 90s?
Oh my god. It was literally just like color. We're gonna put a white background and throw a whole bunch of colors everywhere.
And the voiceover was almost like, what are you, not a man?
And everything in my head, I know it's not true, but to me, every commercial had to end with Milton Bradley. Like, you want this cereal? Buy this cereal by Milton Bradley.
I have to get these Lunchables from Milton Bradley.
I felt like Milton Bradley was the monopoly for commercials.
Yeah.
Don't Wake Daddy by Milton Bradley.
Oh my gosh. I remember that game like nobody's business.
Oh man.
It's hysterical. You gotta race to the end because if you don't, then blow! Like,
it's a crazy action, a crazy contraption, the fun is action, it's Mousetrap by Milton Bradley.
And in small lettering, you see the setup will take you 4.5 hours.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The game is setting it up. And then if anyone gets in the actual mousetrap, you're like, crap, now I gotta set up this whole thing again.
Did you ever, I don't know if it was just me and I just assume the world revolves around me because I'm a terrible person. But when I was watching TV, I felt like every show grew up with me.
Sure.
Like when I was watching Doug, I think Doug was in 4th grade when I was in 4th grade. And then by the time I got into 6th grade, that's when they did the Disney's Doug.
Yeah.
And then I think in 7th grade.
He matured into a longer shirt.
Yeah. Then I got into Brace Face, where I believe she was in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then, like, there was another show for 8th grade. And then, yeah, like 8th grade also, I got into the middle school version of Boy Meets World. And I just felt like Boy Meets World grew up with me. Like when I was going into high school, they were going. Maybe I was just like watching it at those times and they probably aired way before.
Maybe, but I definitely feel the same way, man. So to get into the acting stuff, do you have any stories from like when you were doing plays and stuff as a kid? Or did you do plays?
Well, I did. I tried to do anything on stage. So I was on a step team for a little bit. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Like you're just stomping and clapping. I did that in elementary school. I did do some dance performances because my sister was in that. I did a lot of improv stage stuff in 8th grade, but like plays, not really. Most of the stuff I did it was like a play, but it was mostly dancing. There's a little speaking stuff.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really that great of a dancer. So my thing was, we're going to have Jamal come out and do a backflip. That's well, that was my summer camp experience. Whenever I went to a summer camp, have a little performance. Funny. Everyone would do dances. I'd be in the back for the dance. I'm like barely hanging on to the dance. It's like, all right, here's the part. Jamal comes out, does a round off, do a backflip. Lands in whatever position we need him to land in.
Right.
Kids go nuts. So that was my thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That sounds like such a middle school thing to say, even if you don't know anyone named Jamal.
Yeah.
You know? So we're going to do this, and then Jamal's going to do a backflip. And then people are like, we don't have a Jamal that goes to this school.
Oh, we'll import him. We'll draft a Jamal.
We'll find a Jamal. Because pretty much every Jamal can do a backflip.
You know what? That's so true that it's scary. All right? I'm not like, people say that jokingly, but that's so true. I feel, okay, when I was growing up, I would show up to school early. Me in elementary school, me and my friends would do flips in the grass, and we would show up like an hour early, and we would do flips in the grass.
Me and my two friends, Jamal and Jamal.
Yeah,
we would do.
There was probably like 10 kids, and probably 8 of them were named Jamal. No, I'm kidding. But we would all flip in the grass, and the funniest thing is, I know someone's gonna listen to this and be like, "This is not true," but I'm gonna throw this number out here like it's science. 98% of black kids can do backflips. Okay. I don't know why.
Right.
They don't learn it. I feel like it's just inherited.
They don't learn it.
They don't learn it because it's like they don't even know the proper terminology. Like when I was growing up, because I did gymnastics, so it was like, let's say you're like round off, back handspring, whip, back handspring, full. Black kids that I would tumble with would be like, all right, so we're going to do cartwheel, hand, hold, hand, tornado twister. And I'm like, yeah, that. It's just, they don't know what it's called. They can just do it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think it's just awesome. Like every black, especially everyone named Jamal, it's just like, yeah, I can do it. I don't know why. I've never learned it. Just jump up in the air and the earth rotates around me, and they don't flip. The world spins.
That's funny.
That's the trick. They kind of just jump up in the air.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
really
they jump in the air, shift the world.
Exactly. That's so much easier to do, actually. So much easier to do.
Yeah. I also just imagine a school production at your school. Of Charlotte's Web, and then for some reason you come out and do a backflip. Dressed as an animal.
Yes.
And they're just like, wow, Templeton is weird in this one.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like, we're gonna do the Wizard of Oz, but this 10 man's gonna do a flip.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the Wiz, and here comes Jamal defying gravity.
That would be so funny if you did the Wiz, or if you played what isn't it
Wicked defying gravity. That was the joke. I messed the joke up.
No, I was gonna say if you played the Scarecrow, because that whole thing is like if I only had a brain, or whatever, and the whole backstory could be that you did so many backflips that you don't have a brain anymore.
It flew out. First he took my legs and he threw them over there. Then I did a backflip and it flew over there.
Yeah. Do you have any like funny stories from the stage or anything like that?
Oh man. A funny story. It was when I was doing music. We were in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And was it New Mexico? I'm probably ruining the story already. I feel like we were in New Mexico. And this is how you know that I probably almost died, because I don't remember where it was. We're in New Mexico and, doing the song, whatever. At the end, I do a backflip because that's what Jamals do. Yeah. So we were in a rush because it was a whole thing, and there was tour managers and everything. People were inside. So we didn't really check the stage. So we go through the entire performance. I go to do a backflip, not realizing that the stage is so low. So as soon as I jump up, I bring my knees up to start the flip. I look, I realize that like I'm gonna hit the roof, but it's too late. I've already left the ground. Yeah. So my legs hit the ceiling. I fall directly on my head in front of all these people. Usually, people clap because I usually make the flip. Yeah. So I land on my neck. No one claps. So like the rest of the band is basically like, what happened? So. That to me is probably the funniest, most embarrassing. I actually didn't even want to. After we were done, I kind of just hid outside. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I've landed on my neck so many times that it's. I have no neck.
Yeah.
I have no brain because I'm a scarecrow.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that having done it so many times that you have to have failed a few.
Yeah. I fail most.
Yeah. Yeah.
You fail. No, I've gotten pretty good over the years. So now it's very few. But man, see, now I'm trying to think of something cool and interesting to talk about. I recently just did a series. It's a dramatic pilot called Silent Partner, and the director Jokes has worked with me before. So it's basically the same thing that I usually get. Like, these are the lines, do whatever you want. So I'm not sure if I could say the lines or whatever because it's not out yet. So they gave me the lines, and they were just like, do whatever you want. So I'm like, cool. So there's like a cup of supposed alcohol. It's just basically like ice and water. And I knock that onto some guy. I push a table. I stand up. I start stomping on this couch. I jump off the couch. Land on another couch and basically scream in this girl's ear. And they're like, yeah, that was perfect. Keep that. So we did that for like 5 hours. I'm thinking they were going to be like, what are you doing? And they were like, I love it. Just keep doing that. Yeah. To the point where I'm like, man, is this girl cool with me? Just basically like, ha, in her ear the whole time. But yeah, we just filmed for that last week. So I have no idea when that's going to be out, but Silent Partner is going to be funny for me, I guess.
Dude, let me tell you, there's a story from when I was in, I think it was high school. I was in a play with a bunch of people in my drama class. One of them being this girl that I was really attracted to, probably throughout my entire high school and middle school career.
Is her name Patty Mayonnaise?
Yeah. So I was obsessed with her, and I actually talk about her I don't talk. Just to reiterate, I don't talk about her in my stand-up. I talk about the idea of her, and I make fun of how ridiculous it was for me, more than it is like, isn't that person stupid? The joke that I have is that we had a Spanish class together, which is true, and it's almost like as if God himself was telling me, it doesn't matter what language you're speaking, she's not going to talk to you. So that's the joke that I have. But she and I were in this play, and we were playing boyfriend and girlfriend, and I was super stoked about it. And at one point, there's a part where we're at a party, and my character's supposed to be this like obnoxious guy. And in the script, it says before I say my line, I'm supposed to like have a mouthful of food, right? Mm. So we had chips like Doritos and stuff, and I was like, okay, improv move of the century. I'm gonna be hilarious in this scene. Instead of getting a couple of chips, I'm going to get a handful of chips, shove them in my mouth, and just like have so much food in my mouth that it's going to be hilarious. Now, what I didn't take into consideration was that Doritos would fly out of my mouth, and also that I had to speak to people, one of those people being this girl that I was obsessed with, and I also didn't have enough time to swallow. So I'm saying my line, and debris is coming out of my mouth onto this girl's face. Debritos, if you will, are flying into this girl's face, and I am dying both metaphorically and physically. It was just so embarrassing. And I remember we left the scene or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm alive. Like everything's okay. And she like toweled herself off. Like, it wasn't that bad, but like she what I assumed toweled her face off, and then was just like, hey, you need to grow up. Like, she said that to me. Yeah, it was real embarrassing. But I shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, I don't know. I did so many things in high school trying to impress people. You know what? I think. Okay, well, this is, I guess, somewhat of a weird segue. Yeah. No, because I was thinking of, okay, so recently, I guess within the last 3 years, since I've been doing acting, when I would do stage improv stuff for my class, you kind of get like an instant gratification of if it's funny, if it's not funny, if it works, if it not works. Yep. We were filming for Love Siempre Es, which is a Spanish-English film, where everyone basically speaks English, and there's like some Russian in there. But, they're like, hey, you're the funny guy, so we're going to have you just do whatever you want. So I'm like, cool.
So I'm so used to this ha 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 as soon as I tell the joke,
of course,
that I show up and I'm hearing people like, yeah, I'm working on this documentary in like Minnesota and I have to fly to Toronto and da-da-da. So I'm just like, oh wow, like I'm this new guy and everyone's like, he's the funny guy. So I'm like, crap. So whatever, I do my my scene and I tell the joke. You know, we do it. Obviously, no one laughs because we're filming and everyone's a professional. My brain doesn't understand that. So we shoot this like 10 times. I'm like dying, like this is not funny. So I go up to the director and I'm like, is this funny? He's like, yeah, dude, it's hilarious. So I'm like, okay. So I keep doing it. No one's laughing. I understand you're not supposed to, but I guess that anxiety doesn't understand. So
of course.
I keep going up to him and he's like, it's funny. We can't laugh at you. So now I'm like, oh my God, I'm being like irritating. So now I'm just freaking out more. Mm-hmm. Then I think the next day we do something at night and then they're just like, improv, do whatever you want. So I come up with this whole story about my character is gay, like my real life. No, so my character is actually named Jamalito. He's basically just me. So, my character's
just a little
gay.
version of it. Jamalito.
Exactly. So I'm telling the story about how I hooked up with this guy and we're doing it for like 8 hours and his dick's so big that when it falls. He takes it out and it cracks the tile on my floor, and I create this whole story, and the whole crew's like laughing, boom stands are shaking,
that's
like,
right?
Are you? Because everyone's like, yeah. So the director's getting pissed, like, guys, come on, we got to be professional. And I'm like, see, this is what I want. I want to fuck takes up.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, now I'm in it. And from that day on, throughout the whole shoot, I was like, okay, I got it. But like. That first day, I was just like, oh, my God, this is terrible. Nobody thinks I'm funny, even though they do. It's just they're professional.
No, trust me. I not only do I understand that, I have moments where I'm on set sometimes, and I'm like, am I a bad actor?
Yeah. Dude,
like, should I be here? And then, like, I'll talk to the director, and they're like, yeah, dude, we hired you because you can act. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a bad actor.
Oh, my God. Every time someone's like, yeah, man, just be you. Do you. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
What is me?
I don't know what me is.
Man, you're so great. Just do you.
Yeah.
My favorite and / worst thing is when the AD or somebody walks up and they're like, bro, you're doing great. And then they walk away. And I'm like, is this sarcasm?
Yeah. I know, man. That happens to me, too.
Wow, you are doing fabulous. Love it. Keep doing that. And you're like, I don't feel great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Last couple of things here. Did you ever go to camp?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I went to a day camp because... Oh, my God. Everyone in this is going to think I'm a bougie bitch because I am a bougie bitch. I would only go to day camps because I don't like sleeping at anywhere else but my house.
Yeah.
Like, I would go to my cousin's house. I'd try it. I'd call my dad at like 10 o'clock and be like, please pick me up. I want to go home. The AC is at 70 and I need it at 60.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have the cereal. I was a terrible bougie kid and I'm a bougier adult because I make my own money, so I do what I want. So I was in what do you call that, Boy Scouts, and we had a thing where we would go tent outside of Joe Robbie Stadium, which was Sun Life Stadium, which is now Hard Rock Stadium, I believe. And literally I would have my Captain Crunch because my dad was like, you got to have his dry ass Captain Crunch. But I'd still be like, it's 10 o'clock. I can't sleep here. It's hot. Come pick me up. So I would go to day camps. And day camps, basically, everyone's kind of doing their own thing. So I would try to just do flips off things. When I was like 8 to 10. So... I feel like I'm doing it for myself, but when you think back, you want people to pay attention to you.
Of course.
So my whole thing would just be trying to do flips inside of a building, being yelled at like, "Hey, Jamal, stop that!" You know?
Hey,
like,
stop doing flips.
Stop doing flips. And it's like, but this is what Jamals do. Yeah. If I don't flip, who am I? So that was basic. That was basically my camp experience. I feel like my funniest story I don't know if you guys remember Hurricane Andrew, but my dad and his best friend, who is Daryl Taylor, who I love dearly, they would, put wood and stuff all over the house, whatever. And when you're like 8, 10 years old, or however I was when Andrew, you just want to be in the mix. So they're on the roof. Yeah. So I'm just like, I want to be on the roof. So my dad's like, please don't get on the roof. So I'm on the roof, and they're like screwing stuff in. And I'm like, Daryl Taylor, who I call Pare because he's from Louisiana, and that's like a godfather. That's what how you call someone as your godfather. Yeah. So I'm like, Pare, look. And he would look, and I would basically fall off the roof. Like I would lean back as far as I can and then backflip at the end. So I would literally give this man like a heart attack. Like, oh, like freak out. That was basically like my go-to thing, to just start to lean until you can't lean anymore and just flip off. I wouldn't do that now because now I'm old and I would shatter everything. Yeah. But that was my thing.
I don't remember Hurricane Andrew. I must have been like 4 or 5 when Andrew came. And the way that everyone was speaking about it in my house, like they're like, oh, Hurricane Andrew's coming, and all this stuff. Like, we have to get ready because Andrew's coming. I thought hurricanes were people.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, why is everybody so scared of Andrew? Like, I wonder why. And then, after the hurricane, we looked outside, and, everything's demolished, and they're like, yeah, look at what Andrew did. And I'm like, so I'm just imagining this, like, giant, like, throwing trees, like, just so mad, like, like, hurricanes are just, like, giants or something. Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude, I forgot what was the hurricane right after that one that we had, but me and my best friend, Steven, he's been my best friend since I was, like, 12, 13 years old. The hurricane was out, and I'm at his house, and he has like 50,000 siblings. Mm-hmm. He has like 11, but that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
So at that time, it was 6 of them. So the hurricane is here, but I think we're like at the eye, so it's not that bad. Yeah. So we would go outside and like run outside during this hurricane and be like literally blown around. The rain hurt so much. Like, it's basically like getting hit with. It's not as hard as like a BB gun, but it sucks. Yeah. But when you're a kid, you're like, I'm not supposed to do this. So you're like outside, like just being hit like in the face, like freaking getting killed by a hurricane.
It's true.
That was our life. We actually, it sucks because we're adults and like we live together now. We have a house together because we're lovers. What was it was a hurricane or a tornado that was recent? Like last year or the year before?
That was a hurricane.
Yeah, we did the same thing as adults.
You went outside?
Because we had no power. So we went outside, we drove around, and then we did this thing where we would pretend to be like news anchors, and we'd go stand by broken trees in someone's yard. We would go like into some random person's yard or stand right in front of their yard. Like, hi, I'm Jamal Wright with Channel 7 News, and as you can see, the hurricane ripped the fuck up. No one is safe in this bitch. Like, we were just, we're adults, and we're not adults.
That sounds like something I would do. Yeah, that's really funny. So you were talking about it a little bit, and I'm interested because I'm a theme park baby. And I'm a theme park baby.
You were made in a theme park?
No, I'm a theme park, baby.
Oh, okay. So people can ride you?
Oh, people can.
People, you need to ride Mike. That needs to be the new theme song.
Yeah, please.
You riding him. This becomes a different podcast at night.
It's like, you must be this tall and this old to ride.
Yes, to ride the Mike.
Mike is much bigger than yours. Exactly. Callbacks. So I love theme parks and stuff like that. Did you go to Disney a lot growing up? Or?
I went to Disney a few times.
Are you a fan of that stuff or not really?
Actually, I'm way too much of a fan.
Sure.
In the last 2 years, I went to Disney maybe twice, but in the same amount of time, I went to Universal maybe 24 times.
Yeah, same here.
Like for the last 2 years, up until maybe not in if you exclude 2019, but from 2016 to 2018, I went to Universal easy 24 times. Every single month, I would go at least once.
Dude, I went so many times. It was stupid that I didn't have an annual pass.
Oh, like I had to. And this is my thing. Anyone that's listening to this that knows me, the reason I chose Universal over Disney, not the rides, it's not the people. It's Universal has Dippin' Dots and Disney doesn't. That's it. That's all you gotta do to get me. Put Dippin' Dots anywhere. If you want to murder me, serial killers out there, put cookies and cream Dippin' Dots in a box, and I'm gonna go into that box, and then you just have your way with me.
So much murder themes in this podcast.
Yeah. This podcast is like a wave. It goes from light to dark really quick. The moods shift like that.
Yeah, it's a very cookies and cream episode.
There we go. There we go. If Mike would have bought somehow a Rocko's Modern Life Dippin' Dot cereal, I would live in his
I'll talk to my sponsors about it.
Sponsors, please.
We'll see what happens.
I'll live here.
I say it as a joke, but I don't think you understand that I actually do contact them.
I believe that you do.
Every time. Because my whole thing is like, look, man, I've made a podcast just to do this. So, like, the least you could do is give me a free box of cereal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But whatever. So, you were talking about how you went to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes.
So, please take me through it, because that's my favorite event of the year.
All right, so I go to Halloween Horror Nights with...
Wasn't Chucky there that year?
Yes, I believe Chucky was there.
So you must have been...
I was so scared.
You were like, where's the bathroom? Wait, not that bathroom.
I know that it was Trick or Treat. It was, which I haven't seen that movie. I was going to watch it last Friday.
Great movie.
I need to watch it. I was going to watch it last Friday. A lot of things
It's
came up.
definitely... Look, I'll go into this. Did you ever see Krampus?
Yes.
It's the same director. It's Michael Dougherty.
Uh-huh.
And I will say this, it's not a scary movie, but it's very entertaining. And it's just a good Halloween movie. It's essentially a movie that talks about Halloween being like an actual holiday.
Yeah.
Because there's so many movies that promote Christmas, you know, like there's like the Santa Claus and Home Alone and like all these different movies. Mm-hmm. There's never really been like a movie about Halloween, because even Nightmare Before Christmas is like a Christmas movie with Halloween themes in it.
Yeah.
Because really he's bringing Christmas to the place.
Halloween Town, yeah.
So it's really a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
You know, so this movie is just all Halloween tales, and it splits it into 3 different stories. Really, really fun movie. And Sam, he's basically this little pumpkin head kid that has a lollipop. Cutest little killer of all time.
Oh, man.
But yeah, anyway, so they had Trick or Treat. Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. They had, oh, man. I'm pretty sure Child's Play was there. Mm-hmm. I believe Jason was there.
Okay.
I went with the great Elena Lane. She's a fitness enthusiast on Instagram. So yeah, I guess you guys could find her. Plug for Elena. So she's always loved horror, and she wanted to go, and I was like, yeah, you know, I want to go, but I'm so scared. And she's just like,
I'm so scared, but they have Dippin' Dots.
Yeah, I know, but they have Dippin' Dots. I'm scared that I'm gonna punch someone. So I go with her and my friend George. Going back to what we were talking about before, that's actually the person I used to hang out with at the lunch tables in high school. We used to have the big Jinko rocker jeans and the big chains. He got me into like metal music. He's a doctor now.
Really?
Yeah, that super like metal rocker guy wearing chains.
Can't trust anyone anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a doctor. I believe he's a surgeon. I'm a terrible friend. I know that for sure because I don't know what he does. His girlfriend also is a doctor. So I think they just got some time off or whatever. So we all go, and yeah, they're all really into horror. I'm also into horror. I'm just so afraid of like punching anything.
Of course, yeah.
So I'm going in like holding my hands, things are popping out. And I think it's so funny that, I don't know if it's everyone, but for me, I guess after a while, I've gotten so tired of being scared that I wasn't scared anymore.
Oh, that happens every time at Halloween Horror Nights.
So, like, they're jumping out, and, like, Elena's just like, ah! And I'm just like, oh, my God, if you're going to kill me, just kill me.
Yeah. I get like that too, dude.
It's like 12 and I go to bed at 8. So it's like, just kill me. I'm already been up too late.
Dude, that event it doesn't start till after your bedtime.
Exactly. So I'm just like, let's go. Kill me or not. All right?
That's
I got things to do.
I got things to do, things to dream about.
Yes. So like we're just going through this. One thing. Okay, this is my pet peeve about Halloween Horror Night. Mm-hmm. There are tourists, I guess, that come from other countries and stuff like that, and they see that it's dark, so they try to skip you. And it's like as soon as you try to have a conversation with one of your friends, they try to cut in front of you. And it's like, dude, come on, man. Like, you don't want to get thrown out. I don't want to get thrown out. Why are we here?
I'm going to be real with you. I don't think it's tourists. I think it's Florida people.
Just Florida people?
Yeah.
They'll have, like, different accents. That's why I'm just generalizing. But that's wrong with me. Yeah,
well,
it's just people.
I think that there's, like, a lack of respect in theme park etiquette in Florida. Like, for example, I was watching this video of someone filming the opening of Galaxy's Edge, and just it bothered me seeing the amount of people walking in with their phones out, because I was just like, experience it. But then again, I was watching a video, so that guy had to have had something out because he was recording it too.
True.
You know, to be fair though, like they run a theme park blog and like all these different things. These other people were probably just putting it on Instagram to be like, look at how much cooler my life is.
Yeah, so they can get their likes and whatnot.
Right. Anytime I watch a fireworks show and there's an old lady with an iPad, it just bothers me.
Yeah.
Like, why? Who were you trying to impress at the barbecue with your crappy fireworks video from your iPad?
You know, it's funny. We live in this era now where if someone doesn't take their phone out, you know, like, wow, that was a blast. Because I took my niece and nephew, Christian and Maya. Maya Pittman is an actor, and Christian Pittman is going to be the biggest basketball player in the world. I took them to... I have to plug everybody.
That's fine.
I took them to Busch Gardens for Maya's birthday.
Okay.
I think she just turned 14.
I love Busch Gardens.
She just turned 14. Yeah, it's so fun. We go through the whole day, and these are she was 14. I think he was 12 at the time. And we basically went through that whole day, and they barely pulled their phones out. And it was like, wow, we had a good time. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? Life is a lot cooler when you're not thinking about impressing other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's... like, I hate to revolutionize your life, Childlike at best listeners, but that's just what it is. Yeah. Life is a lot better when you're not trying to impress people. Bringing it back to Donald Glover... That's something that I really admire about him lately. He performed at Coachella, his tour that he's been doing, the This Is America tour. He performed his full set, and Coachella was filming it. And after his first song, he was like, I have 2 rules. And one is I want you to have as much fun as humanly possible, you know, get to know everyone that's around you, all these types of things. And number 2, put your phone down. And like everyone just starts like cheering, and he's like, this is church. We're here to experience this. We're not here to get likes on Instagram. We're not here for other people. We're here because this is our moment. This is our moment right now.
And it's crazy because for people that don't know, Mike and I kind of grew up listening to like pop punk, like Something Corporate, Newfound Glory, stuff like that. So when I first started going to those shows, we didn't really have we had MySpace, but you know what I'm saying, like no one used that on their phone really.
Yeah, of course.
So you experienced all your concerts, like it was like it was literally like a dream.
I was gonna say, could you imagine how annoying it would be to see like Razor phones with their cameras?
Oh my god! It's like, who are you filming? No one can see what you're trying to record. It looks like blotches.
It's like 4-bit cameras.
Oh my god! Like, because I remember people did try, and if you would send it to someone, it would just be, my friend's over. That's all you could.
I heard Friends, so I think they're singing "My Friend's Over."
Yeah, it's like.
But then again, it's Newfound Glory, so they could be singing any song ever.
Yeah. It was like you really experienced it, and now it's I understand some people will film maybe 10, 15 seconds just to say I'm here.
Yeah.
But there's people that film the entire show. And I'm
for me, I think if you want to film something, do it, but only film the first 2 songs.
Yeah, why film the whole show? You're not enjoying it, and not trying to sound.
If you're in the media, they usually only let you take pictures for the first 2 or 3 songs, and then you got to go back into the crowd. I think if that's when you want to have your phone out, have your phone out. Do what you got to do, but then experience the show.
Yeah, because like not trying to sound like a dick or anything, but it's like for the people that aren't in the media, no one's paying you. Like you paid to go experience this, and you're not. You basically paid so someone else could sit at home and not pay to see it and watch it off you.
That's actually what I was going to say, too. If you paid the money, experience it.
That's true. Now, I do understand some of the people listening are like, I want to be in the media in the future. So you're kind of
course,
practicing or something. That I feel 100%. But those people aren't standing in the middle of the crowd being pushed around. You're in the balcony somewhere, and I understand that. You want a good shot, good sound. Of course. That I'm 100% for. But the people that are like in the crowd, it sounds like noise because these speakers are gargantuan. So I can't even understand it. You're being pushed around by everybody next to you.
So the video's going to be
the video's going to be shaky. So it's like, what's the point? Have fun. You paid all this money. Fuck all your followers. Like, do it for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so true, man. I mean, there's like, and it's like, it's with everything, man. That with, I'm trying to think of other things that people are doing that for. Like, just think all this. I think that there should be some sort of etiquette with that stuff. And like, it's, going into comedy for a second, it's one of the reasons why a lot of these comics are making people put phones in bags.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I don't want you, A, filming this because it's material that I'm working on, and B, filming this and cutting it in a way where...
to make me look shitty.
It makes me look awful, yeah. So, and when you're working on something, especially if you're like a Bill Burr or a Dave Chappelle of the world, and you're just starting to work on it, it might sound like something that someone doesn't agree with when it's taken out of context. And
going to that, my thing is, I feel like with this era, I understand you don't agree with something, but if that's the case, then just don't listen to it or don't watch it or you don't like. Me personally, I feel, how entitled and selfish can you be to feel that if I don't like it, no one else should be able to listen or watch it? That's unfair. Yeah. I understand there's a lot of things out there that I personally don't like or agree with. I just don't watch it or I don't listen to it. I'm not going to sit. Now, obviously, if it is hurting someone like to a point where it's preventing them from doing something. Yeah. Like, okay, if your whole routine as a comedian is about Middle Eastern people shouldn't be able to work because they're all terrorists or something like that. Like they shouldn't be able to work at airports. Right. Like maybe one or two
Jeff
jokes. Maybe, a couple jokes here and there. Yeah. But if it's to the point where it's causing Middle Eastern people violence, like people go see your show and then they go beat up on a whole bunch of Middle Eastern people or something, then maybe you need to alter it. I'm not saying take all your jokes out because everyone is free to express themselves and whatnot. Right. But maybe figure it out where it can exist in a world where if someone doesn't like it, they don't have to listen to it. But if someone is being violently attacked because of it, then we should alter it. And even then, I don't think it should be completely eliminated, just to the point where someone is just like, yeah, this guy said I should beat you up because you're Middle Eastern. No, we should probably figure out a better way to tell that joke.
I think that it's tough because, stand-up, I talked about this with Reggie, who was the guest before this episode, and stand-up is something that the way to shoot stand up has never changed. It's always been the same.
Like 3 cameras.
Yeah, it's always shoot the dude, get the audience, shoot the guy, whatever.
Yeah.
It's always the same. And I think that there's 2 things happening, and this is just an opinion. I could be wrong, and in fact, I hope I'm wrong. But I think that because of like TED Talks and things like that, that a lot of people are like, oh, TED Talk, that's like a presentation of somebody doing something, where they're talking about frogs and how much smarter they are than everyone else. And then, which are a lot of what stand-up comedy is, except the idea is that we're joking.
Yeah.
So a lot of people might confuse comedy for a TED Talk now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like the sarcasm doesn't read, and for whatever reason, to certain people, and I think that that's especially with certain comics, because there are certain comedians like Mike Birbiglia and like Hassan Minaj where every now and again they will say a little truth nugget, and then they'll go back to being silly, but then they'll give you those truth nuggets, so yeah, it's a weird time that we're living in, man.
Yeah, like I feel like, okay, if you don't like something, if you all collectively, like all the people that don't like it, whatever it is, if we go on, you're making
Sonic,
joke.
Bro, that's 100% what I wanted to talk about, because I absolutely hate that the director let the trolls beat him.
Yeah.
Essentially. Dude, if I was the director of Sonic and I made that movie and the trailer came out and people were like, Sonic looks horrible, I would keep showing those trailers, and then when they go see the movie, I would purposely make the animation worse. Because you don't deserve this movie. I'm giving it to you as a treat.
And also, my thing is, if all the people that don't like something, if you collectively don't watch it, then it just will get fixed by that, by that aspect.
That's so true. Man, I hate the new Ninja Turtles. You're gonna go, yeah, I have to. It's the Ninja Turtles.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So it's like if Sonic came out, whatever. If everyone just didn't go, then they wouldn't make it again, or they'd make it and make it better.
Exactly.
If a comedian tells a joke that you don't like about black people, Jewish people, whatever, if that entire community just doesn't go, he or she loses ticket sales, then they change it.
Yeah.
That's how you change things. If you are like, oh, we're going to freaking, curse this person out and blah, 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 it's like you may end up getting your way, but it's like in a negative. You're a bully.
Yeah.
You're trying to stop bullying by bullying.
Exactly.
It's like
it's been talked about. I talked to you about this, and a couple of other comedians have tweeted about it.
Oh, you called me a comedian.
That whole
you said
thing.
By other, I'm a comedian. Oh my god.
By other things, by they were talking about how protesters of like the Game of Thrones finale, and they had like 1.5 million people petitioned that they remake it.
That's ridiculous. I wish 1.5 million people would just watch anything that I'm in.
Dude, and I was telling you, 1.5 million people is more than enough people to produce a show, act in it, write it, direct it, and do it all yourself.
You know what's funny? If 1.5 million people put in maybe like $3, they can do it just like that.
Dude, if 1.5 people voted, we wouldn't have the country that we have right now.
Oh my god, that is true. Man, people are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's stuff that happens and I'm like, wow, I didn't know this was 1960.
Like it's one of those. I don't know, man. It's weird that the way that people are, and honestly, man, I was thinking about this recently, and I want to say that we're in this generation where I think it's because, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I feel like our generation is very narcissistic.
100%, 1,000%.
And because of that, we don't fish for, like, for example, my parents would call it fishing for compliments. Mm-hmm. We don't do that.
We fish for negativity.
We fish for negativity.
100%.
So we hear a statement and then we dig to find what the negative thing about that statement was.
My thing that I think is insane. You guys, I've said that I'm a serial killer many times on this podcast, and I am.
Yeah, we reviewed cereal.
It's true. I just ate cereal. I'm a serial killer. But me personally, when I hear about this comedian said a joke in 2008, and someone went through every tweet that they have ever tweeted and found a tweet from 2000, I'm like, that is a serial killer at the making.
Yeah.
What time do you have?
Yeah.
It is 2019. You went back 11 years to find a tweet that you didn't like? Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man.
And sorry to cut you off, but to go back to if you don't like something, just don't watch it. That to me also equates with racism. Yeah. Like I don't care if racist people like black people. I don't want you to like me if you don't like me. Just ignore me. Like that's all. Like if you see black people you don't, or Spanish, Jewish, whatever you don't like, just don't interact with them. Yeah. That's it. Now, if you're at your job, you're at your job. You're paid to do a service. Yeah. So you got to do what you got to do. Give them a smile, whatever you do. As soon as they leave, whatever, talk crap behind their back. I don't care. But to go out of your way to fly to some other city to go beat up a whole bunch of people because of their skin, what time do you have? Yeah. Like that's so much work,
dude. For me, like this is like the other side of being childish, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast, is because I feel like even as adults, we're still just kids in adult costumes.
Oh yeah, we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah,
I wake up every day like, well, I'm still in this bitch.
Exactly. Like we're all just kids. And in fact, whenever you really feel that whenever you see adults like arguing with each other. Yeah. You're like, how old are these people?
You know what's crazy? I feel like now that we're adults, we look back at the stuff that our parents used to say when we were younger that we considered law. Yeah. And it's like, you didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. Of course, yeah. You were just if you sleep for too long, you're going to wake up with a headache. Like, just random shit.
That is true, though. that is true. You get a sleep hangover.
You get a sleep
I've gotten those. That's definitely true. But yeah, like, that's 100% true. And to give you to put it a little bit in a different light, you see things a little differently as an adult looking at the choices that your parents made. So for example, this is something that my mom would never tell me to my face or in my life, just because like that's just how she is. But her sister, my aunt, she told me at one point, she was like, man, I remember, back when you were this old, like 5 or 6 or however old I was, where you were so into Power Rangers, and me and your mom, like we went outside of Toys R Us and we waited in line and because we had to get you that Megazord and like, whatever. And she told me a story about like how my mom like fainted because there were so many people and she was trying to get a Megazord, and like, she had to like fight some people to try to get these Power Rangers or whatever for me. I mean, and then it's funny because you just wake up on Christmas morning
and
it's there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, thanks Santa Claus. And it's like, as an adult, you're kind of just like, man, screw Santa Claus. Yeah, like, I'm just going to tell him it was me. Like,
yeah.
Like, and as an adult, I look back at it and I'm just like, man, my mom sacrificed so much just to like make me happy for however long it made me happy for it, which granted I played with that Megazord for years, and I loved it. And
but even if it was for like a month, she'd still, that's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah. Like it's true. It's crazy how like your parents will do absolutely anything for you to smile over something that's literally a piece of plastic.
Yeah,
you know? And it's just it's great. All the things that like I feel everyone's parents that has that bond with them that really goes out of their way to do anything because. I'm sure your parents would say the same thing, and I have other friends and my parents say the same thing. You'd ask for something, and their first answer is, "I don't have any money." But then somehow, they get it. Like, I don't have any. I want to get it. I don't have any money. And then like 2 days later, it's there. I thought you didn't have any money. Don't talk to me. That's my dad. Bro, like it's crazy because a lot of the things that my parents did when I was younger. I used to be like, man, like, why do they suck so bad? And then it's like, dude, everything was for my benefit. Like, my dad never let me quit anything. I joined a diving team. I was on that for my entire high school career. I joined karate. I was in that for 3 years. The only reason he took me out is because they were teaching us how to, like, dislocate arms and stuff if an attacker comes up to you. And my dad's like, nope, this is not going to work in my benefit. So he took me out, and then I got into gymnastics, and it was just like, he never.
He took you out of that class, but started taking the karate. It's like so I can dislocate. So I can dislocate his arm, and I was just like, man, why does he suck so bad? And now that I'm an adult, I just understand that things are hard. Anything that you love, it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be hard, and the hard is way more than the fun. And I know that, and I look at other people, and they'll quit things when it gets hard, and it's not like that. Like, for the people that don't know, Mike Valdes can damn near play every instrument. He's such a talented musician. I have his EP. I think it was called, what is it? Mike Valdes and the Noise. And the Noise. Yeah. Every song is amazing from front to back. Thanks, if you guys find me on Facebook or Instagram, I can send it to you. I'm pretty sure he has it, but I'm a super fanboy. I have it.
He's also...
It's everywhere. It's on Spotify.
It's everywhere. He's a great actor, great stand-up comedian. And it's just, he works very hard, and I'm proud to call him my friend. And so many people, don't really have that. I know it gets hard and you got to push. And I'm glad Mike has that, and I'm glad that my parents made sure I have that.
Yeah, man. I think you have that as well.
Thanks,
like,
man.
I think, that's all we can do.
Yeah, that's just try your best.
All we can do is just try and, see what happens. But man, this has been an episode.
Oh yeah,
it was such an episode that it was an episode.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah,
roller coaster ride.
This was such a roller coaster.
Yes. And for the people that don't know, Mike is actually the guy that they sculpted to play the kid from Up. They looked at Mike and they were like, "This is it." And they look identical. If you haven't seen Mike or Up, you should just put them next to each other.
Yeah,
we should start memes.
I actually think I want to debunk this a little bit because like I say it on stage that I look like the kid from Up. A lot of people always think that I'm talking about the Boy Scout. I actually think that I look like Carl, the old man, when he's a little kid, like a little baby. And when you look at him, it makes so much more sense.
Wow.
Because he has huge glasses, he has real big hair, it just makes more sense.
This joke has depth now.
But yeah, I always say the kid from Up because I don't want to go through all of it and then, explain it, not that kid, this kid. Like, I'm just,
that makes the joke too long.
Yeah, it's just like, look, whatever kid you think it is, it doesn't matter.
I look like all kids.
Yeah, I look like most kids.
I'm the child in you.
Yeah, I guess.
He's like a Walt Disney movie now.
Yeah,
I'm the child in all of us.
I hope so. That would be amazing. But anyway, Jamal, where can people find you, dude?
I'm on everything. I'm in your dreams, mostly. You can find me at Freddy Krueger. No. I'm on Facebook. My name is Jamal Kendrell Wright. If you can't figure out how to spell it, just think of the blackest way possible, and it'll
just Google backflip. And
Google backflip, and when you Wikipedia backflip, it's me. It's a picture of me. JamalKendrellWright on Facebook. On Instagram, I believe my name is Jamal K. Wright. No, it's Jamal Kendrell Wright. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
On Twitter, It's Jamal K. Wright, but I never use Twitter. I'll be honest, I do it to follow like idiot stuff. Like,
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, man. And then you also have a couple of short films and movies if you want to promote those.
Okay,
like Sick Minded and all that.
Yeah, so recently I'm in the newest Star Wars now.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I know, right? Jeez.
You and John Boyega, that would be the best.
God.
By the way, this is just a small sidetrack.
Say it here.
One of the reasons why I didn't like The Last Jedi is not because, because a lot of people were like, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. It's because my favorite character in the new series is Finn, and in that movie, he had nothing to do. So for me, I was like, man, freaking Finn had nothing to do. And like in the first one, like there's a part where he holds a lightsaber, and I was like, yes, this is amazing. Like it was awesome. But yeah, anyway.
Okay, yeah.
A Star Wars movie with you and John Boyega would be awesome.
It would be a Star Wars Back in Black. That's what it would be, the new stuff. The Sick Minded is on Amazon Prime right now. You can get it all over the world. Mm-hmm. There's people in the UK and Germany who liked it, which was cool. And other places that I can't spell.
Yeah.
Boca Witches will be on Amazon Prime soon. Love Siempre Es is in film festivals right now, so whichever film festival. You can follow them on Instagram. Wake Up is also in film festivals right now. They don't really have an Instagram, so just follow me on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Silent Partner, which I can't really say where that's going to be yet, but it's going to be huge. What else am I doing? I'm trying to live every day. Yeah. Which is so hard.
Yeah, same here.
So hard to keep living.
Same here, dude.
Oh my God. I feel like I forgot something, and if I did, just follow me on Instagram. I'll probably post about it. Talk to me. I like to talk. Oh my God, I'm so bad at this. Yeah.
Well, so you can follow me on Instagram at Mike Valdes, on Twitter at I am Mike Valdes. You can go to whoismikevaldes.com to find out the answer to that question. And it also has comedy clips, music, all these different kinds of things. And I'll definitely be posting a bunch of different shows that I'm doing. I believe next month, we're recording this in the month of June, so the weekend of July 4th, I will be at SuperCon doing some stand-up there, if you'd like to go. So it's going to be me and a bunch of other amazing comedians. It's hosted
Please go.
Yeah, it's hosted by Lisa Carreo, an amazing comedian. She was also on Nickelodeon as well. That's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been another episode of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes.
Yay.
Join me next time when I interview a different person.
Oh, wow.
See you guys. Bye, besties.
Bye.